My name's Snows, and I got robbed.
It's true. I did get robbed, that is.
And it was my fault. A couple of months ago, I forgot to lock my car doors, and some no-gooders went in, raffled through all of my stuff, and stole my portable retro consoles. And since I liked them a lot, well, I decided to get another one. And that's what we're talking about on your boot sequence. What's going on, everyone? I'm not dead. I just took a small vacation and I'm working on some other types of videos, which you'll see very soon. Maybe not on this channel though. Anyways, this is the RG35XX from ANBERNIC. It looks very similar from the RG353V. That's the one that I reviewed last, except without sticks, that is. Joysticks. So why didn't I go with the same console that I already had? Why the slight downgrade? Well, it's fairly easy. The games I actually played on the other one just didn't need joysticks. And games that I would want to play on the other one that required joysticks just didn't perform as well as I'd like. You'd have to tinker around for the best performance possible. Also, after I got robbed, I got an email for me to take a look at the RG35XX, so it's two birds, one stone. And I really think that this model is probably the best in the entry-level market. In the box, you get the console with a preloaded 64 gig SD card, this one right here. You get a screen protector and a USB cable. I actually still have mine in the box because, I mean, who doesn't have 100 USB-C cables lying around in their house to charge various things? Here you go. So this is the cable. I never opened it. It's A to C. Oh, and of course there's a manual. I don't know if I said that already. Anyways, the build quality is super sturdy, just like the old one. And yes, I chose transparent atomic purple again because it's the only one you should get. It is available in transparent clear and in retro color, if that's your thing too. Specs wise, it has a vibrant 3.5-inch display at 640 by 480. So it's a 4:3 aspect ratio, which is great for the consoles that it can play. It has a 2600 milliamp hour battery, it supports Rumble, HDMI out, and it has an OTG port where you can charge or plug in a wireless controller as long as it has a dongle for a second player, or if you really need some joysticks to play, I don't know, Ape Escape or something. Feeling her up, she's got all the hallmarks. The D-pad feels great, the face buttons are slightly smaller but still responsive and very bouncy, and the triggers are solid and clicky. On the left side of the console, you have your volume up and down. On the right side, your power and the reset button, and of course your OS slot for the SD card and an extension one if you want to add more storage, or if you just want to swap OSs anytime you want. At the bottom, you of course have your USB-C port for charging an OTG and a good old headphone jack. I really like the form factor. It's a little bit shorter in height than the older one, which makes it slightly more pocketable than the one I had before. So let's boot her up, shall we? And I'm going to turn it on. I did not, in fact, turn it on. Second try, let's turn it on. I had to press and hold. Till the little green light. Boom, there you go. This is a feature I actually really like. The fact that whatever game, whatever console you play on, if you just put the console to sleep, it'll bring you back to exactly where you were without ever having to find a save state, a load state, or whatever. It's just, it brings you right there. And yes, I was playing Lara Croft's Tomb Raider Last Revelation, I believe, because apparently it's one of the hard. Anyways, we'll talk about it in a moment. Okay, so what you see here is the default ANBERNIC OS. Most people will urge you to switch OSs, but I didn't actually mind it. You can switch to Garlic OS if you want, which is preloaded in the version that I got. Links down below if you want the exact same model that I got. Or you could load alternate ones like Onion OS, which is compatible with this model. I only swap when I want to play Pico games because there's no Pico emulator on the default OS. Still though, let me show you Garlic OS. So you go into the settings, you simply press up, it goes all the way down, and then you press switch OS. And then yes, and then it takes a little while for it to shut down, and all you have to do is turn it back on. So it's probably shut down now. I'm gonna press and hold the power button, and we're going to be logged into Garlic OS by Black Seraph right here. And now we're in the menu. I'm going to press B to go back, and here we're in Garlic OS. In Garlic OS, it's very clear that the console has 5 different CPU speeds, which helps save battery when needed or overclock the CPU to make some games run smoother. You can tell which mode you're in the menu by looking at the battery logo. Take a look. As you can see here on the top left, the CPU speed is determined by the symbols on the battery. Right now, we're at the max overclock, plus plus. Press it again and it will cycle all the way down to minus minus. This is the most battery saving mode. Then you have just one minus, and then you have nothing, which is just the base speed of the CPU, the first level of overclock, and then full overclock. It's a pretty cool feature, but you won't use it very much, unless you're looking to either save a lot of battery or just run full performance. They advertise about 6 hours of battery life, but it always depends on the game you're playing, and of course other factors like the brightness, volume, and mode that you're in. I got about the advertised time since I mainly play SNES games and I keep my brightness pretty low, but whenever I want to play PlayStation 1 games for a long period of time, I'll get about 3.5 to 4.5 hours, which is still very good. By the way, pretty cool way of adjusting the brightness. All you have to do is press the menu button and then the volume up and down buttons. I didn't know that until I started to read the manual. Yeah, I should have read that first. And you know what else I have to read? My sponsor spot. Terrible segue, but it works. Today's sponsor is AliExpress. They have a sale coming up and they wanted me to promote it using this. This is, well, it's a itty bitty tiny retro console. It's a novelty item. Does it work? Yes. Can it play all of the games? Surprisingly, pretty much the same games as the other one does. And is it too small for my hands? Kinda, but I can still play with it, and it's a cool novelty item to have on a keychain. Anyways, AliExpress has their sale called the 828 sale coming up, and it's pretty good. You can get $20 off of orders over $100, and it's applicable on every single product. All you need is the coupon code ALLONAE, and the sale is from the 21st of August all the way to the 28th. I mean, technically you could get a discount on the RG35XS if you got that and other stuff, or buy 2, one for his, one for hers, and then you get $10 off of each. That's pretty good. But seriously, all the links and stuff are down below. Please go check it out, and thank you AliExpress for sponsoring this video. So yeah, let's get back to it. Let's talk consoles. Pretty much everything up to the late 90s is here. Mega Drive, PlayStation, Neo Geo, all of the Game Boys, Ataris, SNESes, I'll list them on screen. It even supports Pico 8 when in Garlic OS. Pico 8, in case you didn't know, is a sort of game engine that was developed in 2016 to kind of emulate the retro feel. It's a really cool thing, and there are really, really good games that came out of this, Celeste being one of them. Now, I'm not saying this lightly. In terms of performance, every single game that I've played has been a smooth experience with little to no hitching. In fact, 99% of the time there was absolutely no hitching. Some games will require you to adjust the CPU speed a little, but you shouldn't have to do that very often unless you're battery conscious. In fact, out of the box, everything ran super smoothly for me, except for Celeste on the Pico 8 emulator in Garlic OS, but that's because I realized that I was in the lowest CPU speed mode, so just bringing it back to the middle ground, and I was back in business. When it comes to the hardest console to run here, the PS1, I decided to also run some of the hardest to run games, like Bloody Roar 2, The New Breed, which wasn't included. Let's take a look at stock and overclocked. So this is at stock. We hear a lot of stuttering. If we go into the menu, we simply press the overclock twice, go back, no more stuttering. Speakers are pretty nice on this thing, by the way, get pretty loud. I also tried other games that are known to be hard to emulate, like Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation, but this one just runs at stock CPU speeds, which is great. Take a look. Get up, roll, jump, Okay. Anyways, in terms of performance, don't worry about it. I tried Red Earth, Bloody Roar. I tried Rayman on the PS1. Let's take a look at what else I've tried. Final Fantasy, I played a lot of Rayman, Barp the Ball Dragon, that's on Pico 8, Donkey Kong Country, Gran Turismo, I actually really like to play on that, Twisted Metal 4, one of the best ones in my opinion, and both versions of Celeste. That's pretty much all of the games that I tested here, and every single one of them ran flawlessly. So yeah, great little portable. Oh, and the HDMI. You can go ahead and hook it up to your TV. The only thing is that the aspect ratio will always be stretched from 4:3 to 16:9. If your TV does support the feature of compressing that back to 4:3, that's great. But if not, just keep that in mind. And if it's hooked up to your TV, you can then plug in a controller at that point. But I think that setup's a little goofy, but at least it's great that you have the option, especially considering the price of this thing at just $60. So yeah, all in all, great entry into portable retro consoles, but I'm sure that as more OSs become more compatible or just Garlic OS gets updated, well, these things will only grow to be better. What I wanted was a no-frills experience. You know, I'm not too much of a tinkerer when it comes to retro portables, and this does the job for me. Plus, it works right out of the box, and it's very intuitive. It's perfect for a beginner. In any case, that's pretty much it for today's video. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Don't forget to check out AliExpress's sale. The links and coupons are down below. As usual, it's right here to see this video, right here to subscribe. Stay frosty, my dudes, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.